Well, first of all, thank you all for coming out tonight. Quite a crowd here. Also want to thank our judges for spending this time with us, and especially Hub101 for making this event, and obviously this facility available. And I want the front row to give a big round of applause to Daniel. Enter 101. So, I'm Pat Randall, founder of Unmanned Aerial Display, UADisplay. And when my co-founder and I, Joe Bernstein, first got together, we shared a passion for drones. And we wanted to look at something to bring to market utilizing drones. Well, one of the first things Joe came up with was he wanted to think out of the box and not use a camera. I'm saying, okay, I like this guy, but no cameras. So what we did is we kind of analyzed what people were doing with the camera and the drone. And what you find is, what they're doing is they're transferring information from where the drone is back to where the operator is. So we thought, without the camera, what can we do? And so we thought about reversing that. We're going to transfer information from the operator to the drone. And basically, this creates a communication device and opens up an entire world for drone usage. Many of the obvious uses might be fire, police, emergency messaging, but one of the biggest markets out there for messaging, especially digital messaging, is advertising. And that's why we say we're leveraging drone technology to disrupt digital advertising. The digital advertisers really face a dilemma. They spend millions of dollars on really beautiful signage trying to get the public to notice and accept their message. And what happens is we become so indifferent to it because we see it so often that we really just walk by. This is especially true if you have a crowd, because now you have a challenge that the person will either have to be near the sign, nobody can be standing in front of it, so it's very difficult to address a crowd, and as you can see, not generally effective, even if you have a great sign in a really great location. So what we've done is we've taken the newest drone technology, and we've coupled that with e-ink, which is a brand new type of digital display. Very lightweight, very low voltage, very little current requirements. And this is ideal for a drone type application. And so our second prototype, which is shown here, basically brings these two technologies together. And now what you have is you have a display that can show digital content, and just like you would expect on any other display, and also do messaging. We moved past the box. Now what we're doing is we're working on the final design for the product itself. And as you can see, it's changed a little bit, got a little bit of a modern feel to it. And so this is the future of UADisplay. As you can imagine, if it was flying here, I think most of you would look. Anybody would look? How many people noticed the display on the way in over here? Probably not many of you. And so UADisplay maximizes views. And in doing that, that gives us more opportunity for social media interaction and getting the message across. And right now, this is a very, very important part of advertising. They're trying to get feedback as to how effective their message is, who is looking at it, and what are the demographics. But if they're not getting a lot of people looking at it, they're not getting a lot of data. Right now, the market, the advertising market is about $200 billion. About $4 billion of that is spent on digital out-of-home marketing. That's these type of screens. Those are displayed on about 22 million screens, and it's been undergoing about a 15% growth rate. What we're seeking is strategic partners to help us finish developing this, product development engineers, autonomous flight programmers, an investment of $185,000. And what we want to do is complete the patent process. We currently have a provisional patent in place, build the market-ready UADisplay, launch a marketing campaign, and sell the first 10 units. One thing that we've really come to believe in as we've taken this on, because you can kind of imagine how many stories we get where you're going to put somebody's eye out. Well, if you believe the future of advertising includes deployment of a drone technology, this is the opportunity for you. Thank you for your attention.
And then did you talk to anyone in the space? I don't think I heard anything on market research.
Yeah, what we've done is we've been working with some advisors and mentors here and talking to people who are doing digital advertising. One of the probably easiest was outdoor, like a running event, golf tournaments and stuff like that. But quite honestly, with the programming that we're autonomous programming, you could fly in this room. And it wouldn't fly across the top of everybody, but for instance, it would fly along this wall. And so you could have it indoors, you could have it at a convention, a concert, pretty much anywhere where you had some space that you could dedicate to it. So there's a lot of different venues, indoor and outdoor, where you could utilize it. No, we're at the next stage. Once we have this, we have our mentors who are going to be going out. Actually, I'm going to take that back. They have talked to some people about it.
I already heard it.
What's that?
I already heard it.
Okay, that's fine.
No, keep going.
No, they have talked to some people about it. Most people cannot really get the full concept, and so they're kind of waiting for the more information that we can really present it. So we really haven't formally presented it to anybody.
I think the differentiator, or the aspect of it is that the aspect that I like about it is that advertisers are always looking for some sort of differentiation. That eye-grabbing thing is kind of inherent to ads. I really like that about this. Have you done any research on the regulation around surrounding drones, and what does that timeline look like in terms of airspace? And,
I'm right to hear. The regulation question is the big question. I'm right to hear with it. I have one of the first Section 333 FAA exemptions, which allows us to operate legally. They recently passed Rule 107, which is a whole set of rules to make commercial operation easier. And it's based on saying, if you meet certain parameters, we're sure that you're going to be able to do this safely. For instance, one of the parameters says, I can't fly over the top of this crowd. But other parameters say, I can fly up to 400 feet, I can do this, I can do that. So it's really, really progressed in the last year. It's really come along.
And so the timeline looks good at this point.
Very excellent, yes. The FAA really wants this to move forward, and they're really doing a good job in helping with the regulations.
How big is it?
This screen is 32 inches diagonal. You could fly basically 2 of them side by side, or 4 of them to go 64 inch. They're that lightweight. So right now it'd be like a medium-sized TV.
What do you do about noise?
What's that?
Noise.
They're actually not too noisy when you get into this size. The smaller ones make more buzz, but it does have, that quadcopter sound to it. But in some ways, it's kind of a selling point, is that people turn and look. But it's not, with the enclosed crops, it's a little quieter, and it's not as intimidating. So, but it will have that sound to it.
Are you making the drone and the display, or only the display that is interchangeable with multiple drones?
What we're going to be doing is, yes, you're right, we're going to be making both. And that you'll be able to use it for signage. I'm actually looking at a spin-off. We like the design so much, we may just have this also available as a commercial drone. That if somebody else wants to have and there is a real market or a demand for commercial quality drones. There's a lot of the home quality, but not a lot of the commercial quality. And nothing that really looks like this. You probably have seen the other ones with the spider arms and propellers. So I would like to make the screen removable so that they can things with it, and then also make one that is just for other applications, the drone itself.
That's the one more question.
And how's the revenue, what's the revenue model like? Do you charge for advertising the same way traditional advertisers do? Do you have to rent the unit? Do you need a pilot?
What we're doing is, for the revenue model, we are going to be providing this either sale, lease, or rent to others who know those venues to utilize. For instance, event planners and production companies, or if firefighters wanted it, or police, because they're the ones who know the venues, they're the one who knows the concert, the buildings. They will have to deal with the permits and also get the customers. So we're really looking at providing this unit and also service contracts.